question for Group B, and then we'll start our closing comments up here. So Jay Nord, the president of the Minnesota Wheat Growers, you have the final question for Group B, the first district candidates.
Thank you. You didn't make it all the way through without a death and tax question. I got to ask, we're with the 179 going back to 25,000. If you're going to buy a new combine or do a tile project, it's really hard to do any tax planning. Do you envision, or would you support a permanent number that's more realistic to today's numbers?
Absolutely. I recently released a tax advisory group policy for the reform of the taxation cost for our tax policy in the United States, and I advocate very strongly for the death tax is kind of silly. When it was actually installed, it was to keep estates from, or monopolies from being created within families. Well, the problem is the number is so low right now that it's affecting small family farmers and it's affecting small businesses. That number should be either eliminated completely at the federal level, or it should be at such a level as to not even affect the majority of the business and farmers. So whether you put it at $100 million or whatever that is. But the taxation process we have in the United States needs reform. I think that the IRS tax code is 775,000 pages or something like that. You can't just continue to tweak it. It needs to be reformed in a more fair fashion.
Okay, that was Aaron Miller, and that was Jim Hagedorn.
I had the pleasure of spending a lot of time on farms in this race and talking with a lot of farmers, and they tend to be a little bit older generally. And they worry about this issue. It's a very serious thing, trying to take the family farm and continue it. We're lucky in my family. We've got land that's been in production now in Faribault County, the Hagedorn family, for 100 years. But it's getting tougher and tougher to do that. Price of land is up. Tough to pay the taxes in order to pass it along. That should never happen. It shouldn't happen for farmers. It shouldn't happen for small business. It shouldn't happen for anyone in America who saves, invests, and does all these things. We should be able to carry it through. One of the big issues in southern Minnesota that makes it so difficult is when we have fewer and fewer farmers, we have smaller and smaller rural towns and the communities dry up. We don't need families selling out to bigger and bigger corporations. We need to be able to allow them to pass this along to future generations so they can continue to work the land in our communities.
And now First District Congressman Tim Walz.
Well, there's few things that we agree on, but I think you'll find folks across the board do agree that tax reform is paramount. It goes back to what Colin was talking about, though, that the folks who trade in the business of trying to divide us or to not get nothing done or to curse the darkness instead of lighting the candle. So now we're rolling through these tax extenders one at a time, whatever, and I've been supporting them. Colin and I and about a half dozen or so Democrats have been supporting them through there. It's not the best way to approach this. If you want this issue or all the rest of them, the corporate tax, for example, if you want to get at the heart of that, if you do it as a comprehensive package, we can eliminate the corporate tax if that's an issue. That's not going to fix the whole problem, but it is part of a solution where the give and take, because the goal on this should be for this nation to decide what we want to do, what we want to invest in, whether it be roads or research or schools or whatever, and then have an honest discussion about what revenue looks like. It is so complex now, it's so difficult, that's where we run into this. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to piecemeal these out so they become talking points in a campaign instead of solving them. Colin had this exactly right. People are sick and tired of this. If you want to fix this, force people to work together and get it done.
All right. We are going to, for our radio stations down the line, take our break now, and candidates can prepare for their final comments, and then we'll